Welcome to this production from Western New York Athletics. Our featured sponsors for today's game are Damon University. Damon University is a private, non-sectarian university in Amherst, New York, offering undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Visit damon.edu to schedule a tour today. Richmond Vona LLC is committed to you. Being involved in a serious accident creates a whirlwind of changes. We know how serious the effects of a car accident can be on the victims and their families. At Richmond Vona LLC, we have helped our clients recover over $175 million. We have the skills and experience needed to handle a full range of car accident claims, including those with multiple parties and catastrophic injuries. Call 716-671-4341 for your free consultation today, or visit richmondvona.com. Colvin Cleaners, Western New York's premier green earth dry cleaner. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, shirts, and tailoring. 2375 Elmwood Avenue, Kenmore. Call 716-873-2952. Logistics Plus of Buffalo. For all of your transportation needs, full truckload, LTL, dedicated and drop trailer moves, Logistics Plus of Buffalo is a one-stop shop. Email buffalo@logisticsplus.com for your next shipment or warehousing needs. G&G Fitness Equipment is a full-service provider of specialty home and commercial fitness equipment. Locations in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Visit livefit.com. Wingnuts Buffalo, located near the Buffalo Airport at 4600 Genesee Street. Dine in or order for takeout. Open Monday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit wingnutsbuffalo.com. SUNY Cortland stands out as one of New York's top public universities, a medium-sized school that offers academic strength across 68 majors, a high quality of student life, and a degree that pays back graduates. Visit www.cortland.edu to schedule a visit today. Binghamton University, a world-class institution. Binghamton University offers students a broad, interdisciplinary education with an international perspective and one of the most vibrant research programs in the nation. Visit www.binghamton.edu today. We would also like to thank Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, Trench Trophy, recognizing the top linemen in Western New York, Lewis & Lewis PC, 37 Franklin Street, Buffalo, New York, B&T Supply, and Western Division, home of the Great Rate. Thank you for joining us. Please enjoy the game.
Live from Clint Smalls Stadium, Thursday Night Football, Medina at Tonawanda. I'm Stu Boyer along with Tom Prince as we get set for the opening kickoff between the winless Timberwolves and a Medina team that is small in terms of numbers, but 3-2 on the season so far.
We still got stars that we're going to look at into this game. You look at the Tonawanda side. They're going to be led by quarterback Cole Kellerman. He is now the record holder here at Tonawanda for the most passes thrown right now. He's got the most yardage. He's your new leader right here. Flip it to the other side, Medina. You got Woodworth on one side. You got Christian Moth. Both that could be big offensive players for the Medina team.
And off the opening kickoff, Doman takes it. And it'll be Tonawanda ball. Tonawanda won the coin toss. It'll be Wolves.
And Stu, what we're going to see is we're going to see two different styles of play right here. We're going to see Medina try to run the ball. We're going to see Tonawanda throw the ball a little bit more than they're going to run. That's what we're going to see. So whose strength's going to come out in this game? That's going to be why we are here, why we're able to call the game. But we're going to see what happens. But we now, like we said, we've got the record holder here in Tonawanda at the quarterback, and we're going to expect him to throw the ball out here today.
1st and 10, Timberwolves from their own 37-yard line. Tonawanda in the maroon jerseys, white pants, maroon helmets. Medina blue helmets, blue pants, and white shirts. Kellerman will go under center. The senior quarterback. And he will hand it off and trying to get around the corner, and he does, and a good gain out to about the 46-yard line is Julian Jackson Rodriguez, the freshman running back.
Just hear that, folks. That's a freshman that we're out here talking about. And that bodes well for the future right here in Tonawanda, what they're going to expect. He's got 131 yards on the season. He's got a touchdown. His longest run of the season, 21 yards. But he's going to be somebody that you know that keeps getting more reps on the season, will be somebody that we're going to be talking about in the future.
2nd down for the Timberwolves. Kellerman under center. And he will hand it off. And turning the corner with some room to run. And finally brought down out of bounds at about the 40-yard line is Nick Graff. Good run there. It's a 1st down for Tonawanda.
You're seeing Medina stacking the box right there. But, boy, I'm going to give Graff credit because he got to the outside. He had to get by Christian Moss, that we know how fast that young man is. And he actually gets by him to the outside and be able to get down that sideline for the 1st down.
So 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 42-yard line of Medina. Medina graduated a whole bunch of players from their offensive and defensive line from last year's squad. They're 3-2 so far on this season.
And lost one of the players in the year in Fry, who played the line, if you remember, last year for Medina.
Right, and there's a good defensive play for the Mustangs. They saw what was coming, and they threw a whole gang of tacklers. Threw him back.
Yeah, but it was Christian Moss, the first one that got in there and started. And then he had his teammates be able to help him out, be able to wrap him up. But a great job there by the Medina defense. And look at that. They're going to make that, no, they're going to move it up a little bit. So about 6-yard loss is what that's going to be right there.
That was Jackson Rodriguez, and he had no chance.
And I'll tell you, when we were watching, Stu, the stick was originally at the 50-yard line, and then when it did, it kind of moved up a little bit. That's why we had to sit here and wait to see what the actual call was going to be.
So this will be 2nd down for Tonawanda. First possession of the game, scoreless early in the 1st quarter.
By the way, that run by Graff was his longest of the season so far as well.
So far, it's been all on the ground for Tonawanda. There's the pitch to Jackson Rodriguez. It's a very short gain. Maybe a yard or two, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Referees for tonight's game, Joe Podorowski is the referee, James Wilson the umpire, Bob Vogt the linesman, the line judge, Mark Norton, and the back judge, James Foster Jr. 3rd down and 14, so the first 3rd and long, and might be the first chance we'll see for Cole Kellerman to put the ball in the air.
Yeah, do you see that? You see Julian Jackson Rodriguez right there? It looked like he was kind of limped up to the line there a little bit. I hope he's okay.
And the snap is bobbled. And, a fumble, and it's Medina football off the snap. And it'll be 1st and 10 Mustangs. There's the first turnover of the game and the first big break of the game.
How important was moving the ball so far for Tonawanda at least, because if that could have happened deep in their territory, that's not how you want to start off a game, especially on senior night. It's senior night here in Tonawanda. We got to see some of the introductions as we got here today, because they did their introductions about 45 minutes prior to the game is about where most of the introductions went in?
It started around 6 o'clock, actually. Cheerleaders, football players. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. And a handoff. Coming around the near side. And, the ball's down on the ground.
They're going to call this a horse collar, I think, Stu, yeah.
Christian Moss. And he was was brought down, as Tom said, by a horse collar. The ball came out. It was recovered by Tonawanda, but the play, I believe, was already over.
That was Graff who actually took him down. So we're going to see what the call is. We're making the assumption of the horse collar right now. But I'll tell you, they're talking to the Tonawanda side. I think this is going to go against Medina.
It's a face mask on Medina. Great eye, Tom. Wow. I thought actually the ground caused the fumble, but they're not going to say it's a fumble. They're just going to back him up for the face mask.
So they're going to say on this one that the reason for it had to be Moss that actually grabbed the face mask of
Graff.
Of Graff right there.
So it'll still be first down, just be a lot longer to go. We've got to get all the way over to the Tonawanda 43-yard line for our first down.
Boy, so far it's early mistakes by both teams in this one. Even though I'll tell you, Medina wasn't going to gain anything on that because of Graff.
There's a pitch and there's a flag, and he's got some room to run. Oh, and he breaks tackles. He lost the football. And this time Tonawanda has it. It was recovered by Colin Graff. There's a flag.
Two flags.
Two.
There's one on this side of the field that got thrown right at the plate, which is usually something that'll go against Medina. But clear in the other side of the field, as you saw Christian Moss turn the corner, another flag went out on the other side of the field.
I'm going to take a guess. The first flag was holding, and the second one, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It's a false start.
Right, that was the first flag.
Declined. It's first down, so the fumble goes to Tonawanda.
So that second flag must have been for the same reason then, obviously, because it was along the line, but it wasn't thrown until you saw Moss go to the far side of the field and start the turn upfield is when they actually threw that flag.
You know, unfortunately for Christian Moss, he's had the ball twice, and both times that ball came out.
I mean, one time you got to say, like, obviously there was something going on in that play. But, yeah, he's got to hold on the ball. This is the star that you're talking about for Medina, and that's what they're going to rely on out there. And you're talking about Moss right now, 746 yards on the season, 11 yards a carry is what he averages, and he's got 8 touchdowns on the season with a 69-yarder as his long.
First and 10, Kellerman back to pass. He throws deep downfield, incomplete, intended for Timothy Doman. And it's incomplete. He's second and 10.
And you can see that was a timing play right there, what they were trying to do. They were trying to get him in stride right there, and unfortunately wasn't able to get that timing perfectly like they wanted it to on that one.
So bring up second and 10 for Tonawanda.
Doman right now, Timothy, he's got 161 receiving yards on the season. He's got 9 receptions. He does have a touchdown with a 56-yarder as his long.
Second and 10 here for the Timberwolves. Kellerman goes back under center. And he will pitch it to Jackson Rodriguez. He's caught in the backfield and slammed. He was never actually brought down, but his forward progress was completely stopped. Christian Moss and Colton Fletcher on that tackle for Medina. A big loss on second down for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, Fletcher, the first one to get in there right there and then got his help that you just said. The defensive back is what he's listed at, 5'8", 155, and you saw him come right up the middle right there. But we've known this season that this Medina team has had to make adjustments. In fact, before the game, they had to change some jerseys before the game because they changed some positions of the players because of injuries that are right now out there for the Medina team.
Third down and long, 3rd and 16 for Tonawanda. And I think, is that going to be a delay of game? I think it's going to be 3rd and 21 for Tonawanda. Yeah. Game. 3rd and 21 now.
I will say this, though, from this press box, what a great sunset that you're seeing right
Yes.
now happen out there. A great view that we have of it, and you're just missing it. We're seeing your shot right here. You're just missing it just so we can make sure we get that play on the field.
It is beautiful. So 3rd and 21 for the Timberwolves. Scoreless in the first quarter. Medina and Tonawanda. Kellerman throws it, caught by Jackson Rodriguez, and he's not going to get very far, and he's brought down. And that was Moss, the primary tackler for Medina, and bring up fourth down.
Stu, we're seeing right now the defense of Medina doing a very good job of penetrating into the backfield. We've seen it. We've seen 3-4 guys standing in the backfield. That's why I like what Tonawanda did to start this game off. Did you see the runs that they did to get past the ends? What they were doing is getting quickly past the ends so that penetration doesn't mean anything. You're trying to get some one-on-one matchups then with the outside linebackers or the defensive backs. I thought Tonawanda did that well on the first drive, and that's the reason for that last play right there. They're trying to get outside the ends.
And the punt is in the air. It'll be caught by Colton Fletcher, and he downed it.
Yeah, he put his hand up for a fair catch.
So it'll be Medina ball, their second possession. Still scoreless in the first quarter. So far, Medina's offense, they've only run, what, 2-3 plays? The penalties, fumbles, 2 plays.
It was 2 plays.
Right?
One was the penalty.
And the other was
right,
the
15-yarder, and the second, and both of them, like you said, came out. But listen, what you could say is, hey, our defense stepped up, did what we needed to do, no harm. Now you've got to do something on this drive and start moving the ball.
Ball spotted at the Medina 30-yard line. Preston Woodworth is the quarterback. And he will hand that one off to Colton Fletcher around the far side. He's got some room to run. Still on his feet, still going. Great run all the way down close to the Tonawanda 40-yard line. Huge gain there.
And I like that, Stu. You know why I like that? He just made some great defensive plays for you. Feed the ball to him. He does a great job, but we just talked about it. Got out to the outside, and the minute he got a one-on-one matchup, took it right upfield, and that's the reason for the big run right there.
1st and 10, Medina. And there's a handoff to Moss. He's got some room to run down the sideline. There's a flag on the play, though. He had another first down, but we'll see what the flag is.
It was right at the line of scrimmage, right when got handed off the ball. You got to think another. Is it a false start? I don't think it was quick enough for it to be able to be a holding type call. So I won't be surprised if this is another false start. Yep.
Yeah, right on schedule, Tom. Yes, sir. So it's a false start against Medina to make it first down and 15.
So far, poor Christian Moss has touched the ball 3 times, and there's been a flag thrown every single time he's touched the ball so far. So you could see this is something that we're going to watch develop. So we've only seen them run 4 plays. The one play went to Colton Fletcher that he was in the backfield. That last play, we just saw Colton Fletcher come out to the outside as a wide receiver. So you were seeing they're going to use Fletcher in many different roles inside this game as well.
Shotgun snap for Woodworth. And he'll pitch it to Moss, near side. Cuts to the outside, cuts back inside. Still on his feet, finally brought down at about the 28-yard line. And there's another flag on the play. And that one looks like it's coming back too.
Yeah, that was thrown behind the play right there. You can see right now that they're already talking to the player, and Medina's trying to talk about, no, I didn't do that. And that's when you see them talking. It absolutely was them.
And it is a holding call. Funny thing, all these.
Now, they're doing it from where, so you could see is they're not going back to the line of scrimmage. It's where the hold took place. So that's why you're really going to see this look like it's a 5-yard penalty when it really was a lot more because of where the play would have gone to.
Wasn't that part of the rule change that you had advocated for?
You know, that drove me crazy.
Yes, I
So,
know.
folks, what that one wasn't a bad one because that still would have been the same way under the old rules. But after this play, we'll explain to everybody what it was.
First down and 15. Woodworth takes the snap. Play action pass, rolls to the top of the screen. He throws incomplete. Intended for Colton Fletcher, I believe. Adrian Batista was in the general area too, and that'll bring up a second down and 21 for the Mustangs.
So, Stu, the rule last what it used to be, not last year, it was a couple years ago that they changed it. But if there was a hold behind the line of scrimmage, they actually would take the hold from where it took place. So some of these penalties were 20 yards on a hold that was out there, and it was something that had to be changed. So we were very, very glad to see that get changed. So it went back to the line of scrimmage when that happened, and it was only a 10-yard penalty and didn't take you out of the game based upon having that holding penalty.
We were doing a health sciences game, and there's a little reverse to Fletcher. Nice tackle there by Tonawanda's number 9, Logan Haroon.
That's a great open field tackle. We talk about that all the times. One of the hardest tackles to make is an open field tackle. Gets him by the legs, make sure he can't keep those legs moving, gets him down right there. That's a big stop, especially when you're talking about keeping it a long third down right here.
I just remember you advocating to fix that holding penalty during a health sciences game we did at Highmark Stadium. It was a day, I forgot who they were playing, but both teams kept taking these penalties, and it was like 3rd and 95. It was ridiculous. Well, it's 3rd down and 16 here for the Mustangs. And Woodward throws deep downfield, and he's out of bounds when he caught it. They're going to call that a catch?
He got it.
Colton Fletcher, nice catch at the 21-yard line.
Here's the replay right here, Stu. Take a look. You're going to see he catches that. He's in.
Right.
He's in. Remember, only needs 1 foot. He gets that in and makes it happen. And I'll tell you, there's a reason the quarterback can throw it the way he has. He's got already an offer to play baseball at Rutgers. This kid's got a cannon when he's out there on the mound. I'll tell you, he can throw the ball, and he will be one of the top pitchers we're going to be talking about here in Western New York as well.
1st and 10 for Medina. He'll hand it off to Moss, and Moss gets beyond the 20, and then he's stacked up by the Tonawanda defense. So it'll bring up a second down.
I think Moss is just excited it was a positive play when he,
no flags.
when he didn't have a flag thrown right there. Exactly.
So I'll look forward to seeing Preston Woodworth pitch. He'll take the spot of Brody Fry in that rotation maybe.
As the leader. But he was a big person for that staff last year. There was a reason that they were literally went to game to game to game, and why they were so good this past year is because it was Fry and Woodworth together.
I think I did see him pitch a little bit in that game against Oneonta, I think. And they'll hand that one off to Colton Fletcher. He's hit, spins away from a tackle, still on his feet. He's down close to the 10-yard line. Bring up a 3rd down.
And Stu, what people don't realize when it comes to the baseball, once you get to these sectional finals, for those of you who don't know when it comes to pitching, they're on pitch counts. So they can only have a certain amount of pitches thrown in the game, and then they have to take a certain amount of rest that's out there. So you're talking usually about 4 days rest if you go a complete game. But because of the way the sectionals in the state run goes, you could pitch in the sectional finals, you can pitch in the Far West regionals, and you could pitch in the state semifinals. So you can lean on one pitcher to get you all the way to the state championship.
3rd down. Woodworth takes a snap, empty backfield, rolls to the left. He's going to run it now, still on his feet, still going. Touchdown. So Preston Woodworth into the end zone at 6-0 Medina with 1:21 to go here in the first quarter. That was a really nice drive. Came all the penalties. Nice run here. Well, that's
the pass right
catch.
there. Yeah. Do we have the touchdown? Okay. So we apologize, folks. We didn't have the play right there. But you can see that he takes it to the outside on that one, saw his lane, and then just took the lane rest of the way right into the end zone. Great job by Woodworth to be able to see that opening for him to take off.
Davi Musosa to add the extra point. Kick is up, And good, and it's 7-0 Medina with 1:21 to go here in the first quarter. So a great drive there by the Mustangs. They take the lead, and they'll kick it off to Tonawanda.
And I'll tell you, it's great to see because they had a great extra point kicker and field goal kicker here last year, who now is over at Cortland out there. And I'll tell you, this is a kid we were talking about. I won't be surprised if how the path is going for him. We see him playing in the NFL.
Really?
That's the kind of kicker this Cole was for Medina. He is already kicking with Cortland right now is where he's kicking. What did we hear? Coach told us a story that it was a penalty that got sent back to the 20-yard line. It was 20 or 25-yard line, and he booted it inside the 5-yard line. This kid's got a leg and a half, and I'm telling you, we're going to be hearing about him.
Well, Cortland a couple years ago won the national championship for Division III. I watched that game. This is one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah, I watched it too.
Zach Boyes was fabulous.
In fact, Boyes is a coach now.
Is he? Where?
He's coaching. It was either Cornell or Colgate. I couldn't remember which one, but he's at one of those schools right now coaching.
And they'll bounce that kickoff. It's a free ball. They'll just let it go out of bounds. Colin Graff let that one go out of bounds. So Tonawanda will get pretty good field position on the penalty. You know, that Cortland championship game was amazing because the other team, I forgot who they were playing, the one time they decided to go for two and they missed, and that turned out to cost them the game because Cortland scored and kicked the extra point. Oh, look at that. You've got Zach Boyes queued up. Where is he coaching?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
It's on the staff somewhere.
Colgate.
What's he coaching, does it say?
He's an assistant coach over there. So you got to say he's probably a quarterback coach.
That's what I would think.
On the offensive side of the ball. So.
Right. Well, Tonawanda ball, 1st and 10.
I knew it was Colgate or Cornell. I just couldn't remember which one of those.
At the 35-yard line. And Tonawanda have enough guys on the field? Now they do. 1st and 10, Timberwolves. And they'll hand it off to Jackson, and there's nowhere for him to go. Smothered. Did the ball come out? Because Medina was right on top of that one. Medina comes up with the ball. It's fumbled, and it'll be Medina ball with great field position as Tonawanda fumbled.
Yeah, that's tough. Now you're getting the field position is we're going to see a replay on this one. So you can see kind of right up the gut right there, and it looked like as he was fighting for those extra yards is when it came out. He was fighting for those extra yards, and as he was fighting is when the ball came out right there, Stu.
It's a tough balance. You want those extra yards, but you got to protect the football.
But he kept the legs moving. You saw that. He was trying to get those extra yards just to keep those legs moving, and unfortunately the ball gets knocked out right there.
And they'll hand that one, right up the middle. Nice run. Good run, and still on his feet and still going inside the 10-yard line, but there's a flag. Nice run there by Jason Wills, but there's a flag, and I think that one might be coming back.
I'll tell you, that may be the one thing that Medina can just say really has been the problem so far this game are these flags. And I'll tell you, we've heard games before. How many times have we heard a coach, a ref, someone on air? You could call a flag on just about every play. I think we're seeing exactly that happening out here today.
It's a holding call against Medina, which will wipe out a really nice run from Jason Wills. And that'll take them back. Takes them only back to the 39-yard line. Still be first down. First and 16. Medina with the ball. Fletcher at the top of your screen. Woodworth. Rolls to the right after the play action pass. Throws downfield. It's caught. And perhaps a touchdown saving tackle. Vinny Gray on the catch. Logan Haroon make the touchdown saving tackle. But it's first and goal for Medina.
Here's that replay right here. You can see fake handoff, rolls out real nice, and gets the hit, but finds him wide open and gets it down to the 5. And then you got to think we should see right now a dose of moss right down here.
That was Colin Graff on the tackle, a 5 and not a 9.
And on that catch was Vinny Gray, listed at 5'9", 160 out there, wide receiver, but gets himself wide open right there.
First and goal for the Mustangs. He already leads 7-0. Woodworth will pitch it to the far side to Moss. Moss has room to run. Touchdown, Medina. Christian Moss into the end zone to make it 13-0 Mustangs. As the first quarter only has a few seconds left, the clock will stop on the touchdown. They'll try to add the extra point. Extra point try coming off the foot of Davi Musosa.
And he's a foreign exchange student here,
yes, sir,
for Medina. So they got lucky on that one to add another body right there they probably didn't anticipate.
And they add the extra point. He's an exchange student from Brazil. I'm guessing he learned some of his kicking skills playing soccer in Brazil.
That would be my guess as well. I agree. And here he could be playing for both teams as well. So I mean, you'll see sometimes we see the kickers doing that. In fact, I want to say one of the kickers a couple years ago in Orchard Park was one of the soccer players, and he scored 3 goals in a game, and then came out was kicking field goals and extra points.
That's quite a game. I know one young man named Brian Roberts kicked. He's a Lancaster kid, but he originally played soccer, then he kicked at New Haven.
Okay. New Haven. I was thinking Lock Haven. I was going to say is Lock Haven was another player that we had go here that came from here, who used to be the all-time passing leader here in Western New York, and he's currently right now the quarterback over at ECC.
Who is that?
So the all-time leader, South Park.
Oh, from 2000.
Just a couple years ago, yeah. You got it. I know you got it.
Tyrell Brown?
No, Willoughby.
Willoughby. Oh, Noah Willoughby, of course. Loved watching Noah play.
He started at Lock Haven. That's where he got recruited. So he was going to play Division II football over there.
So the kickoff is bounced, and Tonawanda will take over at about their own 46-yard line. With just a few seconds to go here in the first quarter, and Medina up by a score of 8-0, or 14-0. 8 seconds left. That's where I got the 8 from, in case you were wondering.
There you go. We're actually going to do the ECC game this Saturday, and we've got tons of stars that have played here in Western New York. Willoughby will be at quarterback. How about Cam Warburton, the running back, will be over there from ECC. How about Sammy Keganau from Lackawanna will be there in the defensive line. I'll tell you, they got stars all over Western New York in that one.
That's awesome. 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves, trailing by 2 touchdowns. As we get set, this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Kellerman looks to pass. Now he's going to run, and he'll slide down, give himself up after a good gain, and that should be the last play of the first quarter, and it is. After one quarter, Medina 14, Tonawanda nothing. You're watching Section 6 high school football on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do. Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
We're back at Clint Small Stadium in Tonawanda, where Medina leads Tonawanda 14-0. Second down as the team switch sides. Cole Kellerman with a run on that last play. Gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Now you see Tonawanda attacking the goal to our right.
I'll tell you, the only thing that you'd really want when you do a Medina game, though, is to do a home game, because they got a great press box. They really do. That is one of the also top press boxes in Western New York.
Kellerman's going to keep it himself. He'll slide forward after getting the first down. So Kellerman back-to-back runs, and that's a first down. I thought he was just going to toss it out to Owen Ford there for a second, then he decided not to.
Keep it and take off and get that first down. But I will tell you, for folks, this Tonawanda press box is a nice size one as well. Great room, a lot of room inside this one as well. So we're absolutely so glad that we're here today to be able to call this game. Medina out here early to a 14-0 lead. But now you've got Tonawanda. Can they move the ball? This is an important drive for them. They definitely don't want to go a 3-and-out right here, which they didn't, but they got to make sure they get this down to be able to take some more time off that clock.
Kellerman throws to the near side, incomplete, intended for Colin Graff.
Just outside of his outstretched hands right there. And to tell you, if he comes up with that and he turns that corner, that could have been a big play, because he was leading him is what he was trying to do, leading him right over to that sideline so he could cut up, especially if that defensive back is not able to come over and catch him.
Second down and 10 now for the Timberwolves. Kellerman still in the shotgun. Owen Ford standing next to him. He'll throw it near side. Caught. Nice catch. Did he hang on to it?
Nope.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
Nope. Colin Graff couldn't hang on to that. First it looked like a nice catch, but he couldn't hang on. So it's 3rd and 10 for Tonawanda.
Tell you, the only negative right there, Stu, 2 quick plays right there, and then you stop the clock twice. You're at that point in the field. This is that point in the field that we talk about where you should get 2 shots at this. So if you can absolutely get a good chunk of this, it does not have to be a pass play. You could run right here and be able to go again because of where they are in the field.
3rd and 10. Back-to-back incomplete passes for Tonawanda. Timberwolves looking for their first win of the season. And here's Kellerman to pass. He throws. Intercepted. Picked off. And once again, Tonawanda turns it over. Vinny Gray picks it off. It'll be 1st and 10 for Medina.
That's a big play right there. Gray read that well. We're going to see the replay right here, Stu. But watch it. It looks like he's reading the ball real well. So take a look. Gray's all the way in the back. He goes off the screen right now. But as you see, he comes up, and he saw where that ball was going, read it really well. Looked like he was a center fielder out there making the catch because of the way he saw it coming across. Great job, great play right there by Gray to get Medina the ball back.
Well, Tonawanda's turned the ball over a couple of times tonight, and they've paid for it. Woodworth at quarterback now. Moss and Fletcher. And this is Woodworth. He's got a little room to run there. He's all the way out to the 50-yard line, still on his feet, still going, and finally brought down all the way into Tonawanda territory at about the 33 or 34-yard line. Great run by the quarterback, Preston Woodworth.
Great job. You saw he never stopped those legs. But you know what I liked the most on that run play right there? Did you see how patient he was for some of the blocks? He let his blockers make the block before he made the move. A lot of people get impatient and want to get down there to that end zone. That is exactly textbook what you want to do and why that run was so successful. Wait for your blockers, let them get the block, and you got more yards because of it.
Takes it all the way down to the 33-yard line of Tonawanda. And they'll hand that one off to Moss, and Moss has some room to run. Moss inside the 20, inside the 15, thrown down inside the 10-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle by Nick Graff, but there's a flag on the play, and my guess is, Tom, that one's coming back for a hold.
Yeah, it would be my guess. It's sitting right at the third.
No,
No, it's false start.
Okay, well, they've done that a few times tonight, too. Moss has had a tough night when it comes to that.
But these aren't on Moss, though,
no,
right?
I'm just
It's
saying.
obviously their team penalties is what they are. It's just a shame because Moss is going, boy, I'd probably be close to 100 yards right now, and I probably accounted for about 10 at this point just because of those flags that have happened out there.
And that was a really nice run, and he showed off his strength on that one, carrying tacklers.
But at the same time, as you got to remember, folks, this Medina team is young. And when I say young, very young. Obviously, they don't have a JV team this year, so kids that would have played JV are freshmen and sophomores that are out here playing varsity football.
Yeah, Eric Valley was telling us he's got a couple of kids who've never played football before. And here's Woodworth. He'll pitch it to Moss on the outside, and he's still on his feet at the 30, 25, still going, and finally knocked out of bounds. Well, he said he didn't get out of bounds. He's down close to the 15-yard line, so he gets a whole chunk of yardage back. That was lost previously. It's another Medina first down.
I'll tell you, right when I saw the pitch, though, to Moss right there, did a great job. You see how long Woodworth held that before that pitch went out? Did a great job of making sure the defensive player came to him, got the ball to Moss and in the open field. And the minute it went to Moss, I started looking. I'm looking going, is there a flag out there? It was one of the things I started looking for right away.
1st and 10 at the 16-yard line for Medina. Fletcher goes in motion. He'll get the pitch, Will Fletcher. Fletcher tries to turn the corner. He's at the 10, he's at the 5, and he stood up at about the 1-yard line. Nice tackle there that saved a touchdown. Jackson Rodriguez popped him as he got inside the 5, and it'll be 2nd down. Or they give him another first down there, 1st and goal. 1st and goal for Medina from the 2-yard line.
And I'll tell you, Stu, when we've seen as many flags as we had, it always reminds me of the one game. You didn't do it. I actually did it with Jake Fyack. I want to say Heidi Gunther, our producer, was down there, and so was
this the game at Salamanca where you got tossed?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh,
I didn't get tossed. It was the public address announcer that got tossed out of the game, and we'll tell everybody that story in a minute.
1st and goal from the 2 for Medina. They already lead 14-0. Woodworth under center, and he'll hand it off to Moss. Touchdown. So Christian Moss gets into the end zone to make it a 20-0 game, and that was like the parting of the Red Sea. He just
and you
walked
can see
in.
he literally walked in, absolutely. But after they kicked this extra point, we'll tell the story that happened down at Salamanca, which was pretty funny because I will say is I've never seen it, and I haven't seen it again since it ever happened.
And it's
but
unlikely you will see.
I've never seen the public address announcer get thrown out of the game until it happened in Salamanca.
And the extra point is up and good. And with 9:33 to play in the 2nd quarter, it's Medina 21, Tonawanda nothing. All right, Tom, let's hear this story of the PA announcer getting tossed.
So we had counted, I think it was 39 flags that game.
Oh, my God.
And
seriously?
it was 7 o'clock start, and I know the game didn't end till almost 11:45. So what happened was a flag got thrown, and the announcer goes, and another flag. You know what I mean? Just being sarcastic, but he didn't say anything rude. He just said it sarcastically. The whole game stops, and nobody can figure out what's going on. The whole game stops, and then we watch the ref from the field point up at the booth and give him the throw him out of the signal out of the thing, and nobody knew what was going on. So one of the coaches that was, I want to say, was in one of the other booths because he was on a headset, had to come over and tell him, "You've been thrown out of the game. You don't go there and announce anymore in the game." But it was crazy. It seemed like we think there's a lot of flags here. Boy, it seemed like it was every other play there was a flag thrown inside the game.
you must have been laughing all the way home.
It was, but to be honest with you, it was 11 o'clock, and I'm in Salamanca going, I got to drive some of those back roads home going, I just want to go home at this point.
I hear you.
And it was nothing to do with the game because it was a great game. It was the Salamanca-Fredonia. It was a phenomenal game at the same time.
You don't by any chance, as the ball is out at about the 40-yard line, that was Doman on the return. You don't by any chance remember the referee in question, do you?
No. And it was, I mean, you got to remember, there's not one guy that throws all the flags. So,
Right.
But it was just one of those days where you were like, okay, this is going to be one of those games.
That is one of the best high school football stories ever.
Like I said, I've never seen it until then, and then now I've seen it for you know what I mean? Haven't seen it since it happened down in Salamanca.
1st and 10, Timberwolves. Tonawanda trying to get some offense going here. So far, Medina's been dominant in just about every phase. Kellerman back to pass. He throws. It's knocked down by number 59. And that's one of the numbers, I believe, that would, no, that is, yes, that's Avian Johnson, one of the numbers that was changed before the game.
And Avian Johnson, I'll tell you, he's listed at 5'10", 220, and he jumped like he was a high jumper out there where he goes up in the air to be able to knock that one down. Great athletic ability. We'll see it right here in the replay. Check this out. Watch how high he gets here, Stu. So we'll see the replay. He's going to come. He's getting ready to throw the blitz. You see he comes out. Now watch him go in the air. He goes up in the air and knocks that down. That's a leap right there for the big guy.
See a basketball guy?
He's going to be – I'm going to tell you. There's one thing we found out in Medina that happens. And not my words, folks. This is their words. They have the Fat Man Relay out there that they do every year in the spring track out there. And they call it's the lineman. They got 4 linemen that runs the 4x1 out there. I'm going to ask him if he's a part of that 4x1 relay that's out there.
Oh, coming from a track guy like you, that is priceless. Well, a lot of people don't know this, but Tom was a collegiate high jumper at Manhattan University, right?
Yep.
One of the Jaspers.
Yep.
So when he's telling you track stories.
But you remember, these guys just had some big guys that came through. Division I players that are playing football. And they told me one of their favorite things is in the spring. They all run track, and the big guys, the linemen, get to do the 4x1. And they said, it's called the Fat Man Relay. And we all go out there and compete. He goes, we won some races out there, is what they tell me. So I'm going to tell you, when you see athletic ability like that from a man, that's a guy I want on that relay. I'm going to tell you that.
You're not kidding. You're not kidding. 2nd down and 10 for Tonawanda here. The Timberwolves trying to find some offense here. Big play there from Avion Johnson. So far, we don't know his status for those relays. And there's the handoff to Jackson, and he's not going to get very far. Gain of maybe a yard, brought down by Kendrick Rousseau on the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Great stop right there. You see, fill the hole up real nicely and be able to make that stop.
So they'll give him a 2-yard gain, make it 3rd and 8 for Tonawanda.
You got to think this is probably a passing down right here for Tonawanda, trying to get that 1st down to see if they can keep the ball moving here.
Third and 8. Kellerman takes the snap, rolls to the left, fires, caught by Doman for a 1st down. He's shoved out of bounds by Preston Woodworth.
That's a great job, though, on that pass play. Did you see that rollout right there? That was all Kellerman right there. Rolls out beautifully, gives himself some time. You saw the pressure come up the middle, but his rollout giving him some more time and to be able to get his wide receiver open to follow him towards that sideline. And it looks like we got a replay to see that. But you can see the penetration up the middle, and then his receiver comes with him to the sideline and gets that 1st down. But a great job by him, the way he rolled out. That's a big 1st down for this Tonawanda team. You do not want to give the ball right back to Medina and have this be a possibly 4-score game. Get some right now. If they could put some points up on the board, that's a positivity to go into the 2nd half.
First and 10 for Tonawanda. Kellerman takes the low snap, rolls left, throws, incomplete. And that was dropped by Doman.
So you know what may be a great play to call right now, Stu, in these set of downs? We're seeing the penetration from Medina. We talked about it. They're getting 2-3 guys up the middle. A nice screen play could probably work because they're getting the penetration back there. Think about some sort of screen play that could really work because of the penetration and take advantage of that penetration that's happening by Medina.
I find it interesting that the last couple of plays, Kellerman has rolled to his left and then thrown the ball. That's tough to do.
It very much, but you saw he squared his body up real nice. When he did not make that throw until that body got square. That's what you're always going to teach. Square the body out so you can make that throw, and he did a great job right there to be able to square that body and go.
Second down and 10 for the Timberwolves. Markel Whitman split out to this side of the field. Oh, the snap is low, and Kellerman will just fall on it. And it looks like number 78, Matthew Jacobs, is there just to touch him down officially, and that'll bring up a third down, third and long for Tonawanda.
And unfortunately, this is that long. It's almost an automatic passing down when you think about it, unless a play breaks down and your quarterback's going to take off. But you're in that strange area again, Stu, that you could see them get 2 shots of this, especially if you can get a good chunk of this on the third down right here. You may be able to go for it and be able to go for it on fourth down to try to get that first.
I don't know why that clock was stopped there. Anyway, third and long for Tonawanda. Timberwolves trying to extend this possession. And there goes Kellerman to the far side. He's hit. He throws. It's incomplete. And that was Matthew Jacobs, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see what this is for.
You almost wonder if this is a hold. When the minute that you saw him make that turn to try to make that pass, that's right when the flag was thrown. You can see the flag sitting right at the 47-yard line right now. And you can see right now talking to Medina, I think they're going to decline the penalty right there and try to make it go fourth down.
Yep, I think you're right. Yep, holding Tonawanda declined. So it'll be fourth down for Tonawanda. 4th and 16. Long way to go for the Timberwolves. Now that time the clock stopped on the incomplete pass.
I'll tell you, the second half, folks, we're going to talk about the C North Division, a little bit of the C South Division when they merge together for the playoffs. We'll give everybody a little picture of what's going on.
And they'll punt it away, and it'll go out of bounds at about the Medina 17 or 18-yard line, where the Mustangs will have the ball. 1st and 10, already leading 21-0. I took a look at a bunch of the standings today, and it's hard to find some undefeated teams. And you and I, when we did the Lancaster Orchard Park game, we're talking about rivalry week. And
oh, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. In fact, the biggest rivalry that we may see that's going to get played if the teams stay on their course right now could come out of the D division.
Really?
Wilson, Newfane, 2 of the teams that are undefeated, if they stay that way, would meet in a final game the last week in rivalry week.
Woodworth takes the snap. He throws near side. It's caught by Gray. He's got some running room, and he's knocked down at about the 31-yard line. Vinny Gray on the catch.
But you're seeing a couple of the undefeated teams really are starting to separate themselves a little bit. We're going to see what happens. Bennett right now is undefeated in conference. Their only loss comes from out of state. So I'll give them as one of our undefeated ones that you're looking out there. Will North, the only one undefeated in A1 in conference. Their 2 losses come out of conference. And I'll tell you, Health Sciences looks really good right now. This team is the real deal, folks, and they are going to be tough to beat to get that sectional crown.
I did see Health Sciences against Grand Island. There's a great fake by Woodworth. He had me fooled, thought he gave it to Moss. He took it himself. Nice run.
And then to kind of finish this out, West Seneca East is undefeated. Wow, they were a powerhouse for years. It's good to see them back in the mix right now. They're really going to see them, and Williamsville South is going to be fun to see who comes out of the B1 conference right there. Don't forget about Pioneer. I know they've got 3-2, but I'm going to tell you, that team has been really tons of injuries, and they're starting to see some of these guys come back. They're going to be somebody that's going to be fun to watch inside that conference as well.
I'll say one thing about Pioneer. He did a game against Will South at South a couple of years ago. I saw him walking off the bus. I said, my goodness, this team means business. They come with an attitude. Woodworth pitches it back to Moss. Moss got some running room. He carries a tackler and spins away all the way down to the Tonawanda 45-yard line.
And then to finish things out, you got Iroquois, who's undefeated in the B2 conference. Depew looks really good. Don't forget about Lackawanna. Olean, they've got a quarterback in Joe Mess down there that can really cause some havoc right there from Olean. They're going to be fun to watch. I'll tell you, C North, Barker Royhart really starting to separate themselves, especially with that big win over Eden North Collins. They also had a big win over this Medina team. They look really strong, I'll tell you that. Eden North Collins can put up points. Don't forget about Maritime Tapestry, and don't forget about this Medina team as well.
Woodworth throws, caught by Fletcher on the far side. He's inside the 30, down to about the 26-yard line.
And then also Akron is very much in the mix in this division. This will be a battle to see who the top 4 teams are going to come out of C North. But I'll tell you, what may be the most loaded conference top to bottom is this C South. Southwestern Frewsburg, my number 1 team in the small schools. This team is the real deal, folks. Chautauqua, Lake Westfield, Brockton, Salamanca, CSP. Portville comes up big with a win over Salamanca. Don't forget about them. It is unbelievable how deep this C South is.
Woodworth hands it off to Moss. Moss has some room to run, breaks a couple tackles, cuts to the outside, spins away, and is finally brought down by Colin Graff. Another good run by Moss, and this time no flags.
And then the last conference will be Wilson Newfane leading things right now. They're both undefeated. Don't forget about Gowanda Pine Valley. Carter Capozzi's the real deal at quarterback. That kid can light up a scoreboard right there. Anything can happen right there. Randolph also in the mix. And even though they may not be playing the football they want, I will never count out a Franklinville-Ellicottville team because they are so coached well, and you know that team always comes on inside the second half.
That's the truth. Woodworth goes under center. He'll hand it off straight up the middle. And did the ball come out at the end of the play?
It doesn't look like it.
No. Well, the Doman came up with the ball for Tonawanda, but the play was, he was already down. Kendrick Rusaw on the carry, wearing number 22 for Medina.
And then 2 last comments I want to make. We're going to go back to the AA conference. Big game this week, Lancaster, Niagara Falls. That is going to be a great game tomorrow night at Lancaster. Niagara Falls can be the team that really surprises everybody. They took Orchard Park to the brink. They've taken Bennett to the brink. Now the question is, can they take Lancaster out right now?
Are you doing that game tomorrow night?
Yes, but not how everybody thinks it.
Pitch to Moss, across the 10-yard line, and he's down inside the 5-yard line. And Moss gets up after another good run. So
I am on the call, but I am on the radio call with Mark Johnson, is who I'll be joining right there for the Voice of the Legends. I'll be joining that call right there. Timmy Morozic has to take care of some family issues, so he's asked me if I could step in. And I didn't have a Western New York Athletic game, so I said I will step in for that one. And then the last conference we can allude to is a 3-team race in the Monsignor Martin Conference, but boy, this will be fun. But I think it comes down to right now, the big game to end the year, Canisius and St. Francis, and see what happens.
Well, having seen St. Francis on Saturday, they are outstanding.
And could possibly have the best quarterback in Western New York.
Trent Buttles, he was great. This is Fletcher looking to get into the end zone. And he's stopped at just shy of it. Just shy.
It looks like they're going to be almost a yard, Stu. Look where he's walking in. They're not giving him as much as we thought that he got that close. See where he's standing?
Yeah, I see.
So they think they're going to put this on the 1-yard line.
First and goal for Medina, up 21-0 here.
And, folks, you do want to check out social media at the end of this game. Whoever wins this, Stu and I will go down to the field. We'll get those interviews out there, and it will be on our X page, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and you get to see the post-game interviews of our players of the game.
First and goal for Medina, looking to add to a 21-0 lead. Woodworth, he'll hand that one off. The whistle blows. Is this another false start against Medina? They've had a bunch of them.
You know, Stu, let's tell everybody. We've been talking about.
Excuse me, Tom. Offside on the defense.
Sorry. So let's just listen to this right now. We've got a freshman here, a junior, freshman, junior, sophomore, junior, sophomore, junior. That's Medina right there. We named just about every player. There's only right now on this team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seniors. The rest are all underclassmen, and some of them you can see freshmen and sophomores mostly that consist of the underclassmen.
First and goal, and Woodworth will keep it himself. Touchdown. Oh, no, that's a flag flying up in the air.
Yeah, those are 2 flags.
Well,
and they didn't wave it in, so he didn't get in right there, but now we're going to see where this is.
Yeah, well, they can't, if it's on Tonawanda, they can't give them much more real estate down there, but that's probably going to back up.
They already said it. They already said it's going to go against Medina.
Let's see, is this another false start? Holding?
No, it looks like aiding the runner is what it was. You can see how they were pushing them, trying to push the runner over the line. That's where that penalty comes into play. We don't got those tush pushes going on here that the Eagles are going to try to do against the Giants tonight. So,
hey, I wasn't gonna bring up anything about any of your sports teams. So.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, the Yankee thing that happened yesterday. We'll let that one go. But now I'm going to be worried about the Giants to see what they happen to do tonight.
Still first and goal for Medina, back at about the 5-yard line. Woodworth hands it off to Moss. He stops, resets his feet, touchdown. Christian Moss. Boy, he had enough time to pick and choose his spots, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
I think you worded that perfectly, Stu, but did you see how patient he was? Looking for the hole to open. He was literally standing there waiting for the hole to open, and the minute he did, he went right down that lane and went right into the end zone. A great job there by Moss to be able to see that. It's kind of what we talked about earlier in the game with Woodworth. Remember I talked about his patience, letting the blockers do what they need to do? That's exactly what Moss was trying to do there as he watched the holes open up by his offensive line.
Davi Musosa will try to add the extra point. Kick is up. Well, that one just barely got it, and it's 28-0 in favor of Medina.
You want to know the beauty about that? In the box score, nobody knows where it went in there. All they know is he's got 4 extra points right there.
It's so true. That's a funny thing about sports, are things that don't show up in the box score that you just never know if you're not at the game.
There's so many sports that does it. Think about this. Like if I got fouled and a shot kind of went in wicked, like, all right, it doesn't matter how it looks, it went in. If it was basketball, how many times in baseball we call seeing eye single out there?
Or a double play that's not made will kill you every time.
There's so many things. I used to be a big bowler at one point. How many times it crosses over the head and it crosses the other side, and you go, I don't care. It looks like it's an X up there on the screen.
That's right.
So like I said, it doesn't matter what sport it is. There's always something where you're going to say it doesn't matter how it looks. What matters that went onto the scoreboard.
I can see you as a big-time bowler.
I've had 300 games.
Have you really?
I used to be a 220 average bowler.
No kidding, really? What happened to you?
I actually led the ABCs at one point when they were in Syracuse.
No kidding. I didn't know. I've known you a long time.
So
I didn't know that.
I'll tell you that funny story because I did it just before my first son was born, and it got announced on the news as we were waiting for him to be born.
Off the kickoff, and it's taken all the way down at like the 18-yard line. Doman had nowhere to go, and the Medina kicking team quickly downfield. There's a lot of stuff I don't know about you, Tom. I didn't know you were that big of a
Oh, I
big-time
used to be a
bowler.
big bowler when I was younger, much younger. But I was actually the ABCs first came to Syracuse, and they actually had the War Memorial in Syracuse, and they brought in the lanes and did it. And I shot a good set for early on. I want to say I shot it was like 7-10 is my series. It was
Wow,
a good
that's
series.
outstanding.
Nothing that would win, but early on it was leading, and everybody was trying to adjust to the lane conditions. So I'm actually watching the news, waiting for my son to be born. We're actually in the hospital, and they're like, the local leader leading the ABCs, Tom Prince, right here. And
Oh.
I didn't even know it. I'm watching it on the news, which was funny.
How awesome is that? And Kellerman picks the ball up off the turf. He gets away from a couple of rushers. He's on the far side. He throws incomplete.
I got to tell you, he completes that pass. That's a highlight reel right there. He gets through those defenders. How he even be able to got through two of those defenders right there to give himself time. He completes that pass, and I'll tell you, that's going to be a replay we were looking at right there.
So when you got to Buffalo, did you ever bowl in the
did.
George
I did
Obenauer Masters?
when I first started, I did, and then realized it was as my kids were starting to get older at that time, and I knew I wanted to be more a part of them versus me.
So you bowled in the George Obenauer Masters?
I bowled in the Masters both in Syracuse and
No
and
kidding.
Here, yeah. So
I am in the presence of greatness.
That's
That's awesome. I didn't know you were such a good bowler.
Back in the day, it's been years, so I will tell you. But I still get a phone call and a text every season to see if I will come back. I get it still to this day every year.
That's awesome. And Kellerman throws an incomplete, intended for Colin Graff. Only mail I get is for no invitations, just a warranty on a Malibu, Chevy Malibu that we had about 12 years ago, and we still get mail about it.
My first car was a Chevy Malibu.
It's a nice car.
Oh, I loved it. It was a boat. That thing was a boat you drive down. But, boy, I thought I was the you-know-what driving that as a high school student in there. In fact, I was driving a Malibu when it would have been me out on the field at this point, right? Boy, we won't talk about how long ago that was, though.
I'm not talking anything about that. Did I tell you that I was doing a lacrosse game with our man Francis Beck once, and he had the nerve to say, back in the day? I said, Francis, you're not old enough to have a back in the day. Kellerman, back to pass. Throws, completed, and Ford is brought down well short of the first down. And that should probably be the last play of the first half. And it is. That'll do it for the first half. All Medina in this one. The Mustangs lead the Timberwolves 28-0 at halftime. You're watching Section 6 High School Football on Western New York Athletics.
Welcome to this production from Western New York Athletics. Our featured sponsors for today's game are Damon University. Damon University is a private, non-sectarian university in Amherst, New York, offering undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Visit damon.edu to schedule a tour today. Richmond Vona LLC is committed to you. Being involved in a serious accident creates a whirlwind of changes. We know how serious the effects of a car accident can be on the victims and their families. At Richmond Vona LLC, we have helped our clients recover over $175 million. We have the skills and experience needed to handle a full range of car accident claims, including those with multiple parties and catastrophic injuries. Call 716-671-4341 for your free consultation today, or visit richmondvona.com. Colvin Cleaners, Western New York's premier green earth dry cleaner. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, shirts, and tailoring. 2375 Elmwood Avenue, Kenmore. Call 716-873-2952. Logistics Plus of Buffalo. For all of your transportation needs, full truckload, LTL, dedicated and drop trailer moves, Logistics Plus of Buffalo is a one-stop shop. Email buffalo@logisticsplus.com for your next shipment or warehousing needs. G&G Fitness Equipment is a full-service provider of specialty home and commercial fitness equipment. Locations in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Visit livefit.com. Wingnuts Buffalo, located near the Buffalo Airport at 4600 Genesee Street. Dine in or order for takeout. Open Monday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit wingnutsbuffalo.com. SUNY Cortland stands out as one of New York's top public universities. A medium-sized school that offers academic strength across 68 majors, a high quality of student life, and a degree that pays back graduates. Visit www.cortland.edu to schedule a visit today. Binghamton University. A world-class institution, Binghamton University offers students a broad, interdisciplinary education with an international perspective and one of the most vibrant research programs in the nation. Visit www.binghamton.edu today. We would also like to thank Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, Trench Trophy, recognizing the top linemen in Western New York, Lewis & Lewis PC, 37 Franklin Street, Buffalo, New York, B&T Supply, and Western Division, home of the Great Rate.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNY Athletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
We're back at Clint Small Field in Tonawanda. Medina leads this one 28-0. Tonawanda still looking for its first win of the season, and they have a big hill to climb. This one's been all Medina.
It really has, and to be honest with you, we even talked about it early in this game. If it wasn't for all the flags, this score could even be even worse than what it is. It's been all Christian Moss. Woodworth as well. Preston Woodworth has shown he's had some big passes, especially when he rolled out both to the left and to the right. He's had some great passes that were out there. When you got a running back as big as Christian Moss, we've talked about this kid for the last couple years, that he was in the talk of being a Conley Cup finalist right out there. And he's done it every single year where he's come up big. The only difference is, I'll tell you, he wishes he's got that D1 players on the line right there. We've talked about his line just as young right now. But when he gets into the open space, you can see he can be that running back that can show his speed, but at the same time initiate contact and be able to take on that contact for those extra yards.
And he can carry you for a few
That's
yards
what I mean.
too.
That's what I'm talking about. He initiates that contact and will carry the player right there. And I love what we've seen from Colton Fletcher. He's been that kind of that other back out there that really helps take away from Moss. Or if you're going to concentrate on Moss, that's when he can really hurt you as well and do it from another perspective. And then from a defensive standpoint, we really have seen the defensive line for Medina get penetration into that backfield where they've been almost standing in the backfield on multiple plays. That's really been the key right there. And I'll tell you, for Tonawanda, obviously from the Tonawanda standpoint, it's Kellerman who is leading the way right there. You could see is if this poor young man would get a little bit more time, you can see he's going to complete more passes out there. What's hurting him right now is just the penetration, and you're seeing is he has to constantly roll out to just get himself open so that he could be able to throw the ball downfield or even throw the ball just to find an open man that's out there.
And he often has he's right-handed and is often rolled to the left and thrown back against the grain, which is tough to do.
It really is. And what you're seeing is he's doing that because of where the penetration's coming from, and he's got to roll out and buy himself more time.
Well, that'll do it for halftime. Once again, all Medina. Mustangs lead the Timberwolves 28-0 at halftime. You're watching Section 6 high school football on Western New York Athletics.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Wingnuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts. Deal.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
At WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics. Your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Welcome to this production from Western New York Athletics. Our featured sponsors for today's game are Damon University. Damon University is a private, non-sectarian university in Amherst, New York, offering undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Visit damon.edu to schedule a tour today. Richmond Vona LLC is committed to you. Being involved in a serious accident creates a whirlwind of changes. We know how serious the effects of a car accident can be on the victims and their families. At Richmond Vona LLC, we have helped our clients recover over $175 million. We have the skills and experience needed to handle a full range of car accident claims, including those with multiple parties and catastrophic injuries. Call 716-671-4341 for your free consultation today, or visit richmondvona.com. Colvin Cleaners, Western New York's premier green earth dry cleaner. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, shirts, and tailoring. 2375 Elmwood Avenue, Kenmore. Call 716-873-2952. Logistics Plus of Buffalo. For all of your transportation needs, full truckload, LTL, dedicated and drop trailer moves, Logistics Plus of Buffalo is a one-stop shop. Email buffalo@logisticsplus.com for your next shipment or warehousing needs. G&G Fitness Equipment is a full-service provider of specialty home and commercial fitness equipment. Locations in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Visit livefit.com. Wingnuts Buffalo, located near the Buffalo Airport at 4600 Genesee Street. Dine in or order for takeout. Open Monday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit wingnutsbuffalo.com. SUNY Cortland stands out as one of New York's top public universities. A medium-sized school that offers academic strength across 68 majors, a high quality of student life, and a degree that pays back graduates. Visit www.cortland.edu to schedule a visit today. Binghamton University. A world-class institution, Binghamton University offers students a broad, interdisciplinary education with an international perspective and one of the most vibrant research programs in the nation. Visit www.binghamton.edu today. We would also like to thank Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, Trench Trophy, recognizing the top linemen in Western New York, Lewis & Lewis PC, 37 Franklin Street, Buffalo, New York, B&T Supply, and Western Division, home of the Great Rate.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
At WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics. Your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Welcome back to Clint Small Stadium in Tonawanda, where the Medina Mustangs lead the Tonawanda Timberwolves 28-0. Medina's done pretty much anything they wanted to, and unfortunately, statistically, they've hurt themselves with penalties. Christian Moss having a big game. He'd be having a much bigger game if it weren't for the penalties.
Yeah, his big game's coming from being in the end zone, right? Because he's got 3 of those touchdowns are his right there. So that's where his big game's coming from. Even though you may not see it in the yards when this one's done, you'll understand why, because he had so many runs that kind of came back to him. In fact, I won't be surprised we're not going to see a lot of yards, period, right now inside this game when you think about it from either side of the team, because part of the reason is Medina's played with a short field on multiple times as well, or move the ball because of some penalties and some different things that are out there as well.
Well, and Medina will get the ball to start the second half, so.
Yeah, so we'll talk. We're going to keep everybody abreast of what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit about the conference, even though we did a big breakdown of the entire conference. Just a quick one we did earlier. I think it's really important that we stay in the C conference here in the second half, and we'll talk about some of the things that we could possibly see happen as things develop here for the rest of the season.
Well, if they kick it deep, it's Fletcher and Moss back deep. And it'll take a bounce. It'll be picked up by Fletcher at the 20, at the 25, at the 30. He's out to the 40, at the 50, going down the sideline, still on his feet. Colton Fletcher, touchdown. He returns the opening kickoff of the second half for a touchdown, and it's 34-0 Medina. Great play by Colton Fletcher.
He has been that other person that you would say is probably be getting more time in the backfield if it wasn't for having such a dynamic running back in Moss. But he is coming out and showing his impact inside this game. He really has been a major player inside this game and a big piece of Medina if they're going to do something, especially as these playoffs come very near, right?
Yeah.
We're closer than we think right now to these playoffs.
I was thinking about that earlier today. It's like, oh my goodness, it's October and here we are.
I mean, think about we're week 6.
Yes.
This is the beginning of week 6 right here.
And the extra point is up and good. Nice play by the holder. Snap was low and he was able to put it down, and now the score is 35-0. Preston Woodworth on the hold made a really nice play. Good hands. And it's 35-0.
Oh, we're going to see the replay right now. I don't know if we'll thing right here, but there it is. You can see as he's breaking out and then showing the speed right there. As you can see him breaking away from those runners right there to be able to get into the end zone. But he really shows very deceiving speed right there is what he shows to be able to get right down that sideline. But you know it. The minute you're in the middle of that field and you get an opportunity to break that out, you break it out, and then you saw right there. Looks like we got a down player right here from MEDINA out in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that's number 22. Good eye, Tom. That's Kendrick Rousseau. So hopefully he's all right and is able to get back into the game. But right now, just laying there on the turf with the trainer attending to him.
But that was weird because he went down as they came out to
right.
be able to do the kickoff. So, and I'll tell you, I always look, you know me, as you see when their reaction and what the trainers
right.
are doing. To me, this looked like some sort of cramping issue right there. As you see how he's holding right down there to the calf there area,
yep.
That's usually, to me, some sort of cramping. Yes, folks, you could get cramping even in cold weather. You need to make sure that hydrating is done, whether it's cold or warm. We've seen times where there's been snow out on the ground and there will be kids out there cramping. It just shows how important that hydration process is, no matter what the weather. It's doesn't have to be the 90 degrees or the 80 degrees that we've seen early on in the season. It'll even happen on these colder days, which it is out there as one of the coldest days we've seen so far since we've hit the fall season.
And it is cold outside.
Yeah. But it's just cold because we've been so used to this warm weather, not necessarily that it's cold, because in about a month we're going to be loving this weather, right?
Isn't that the truth? And Jackson Rodriguez breaks a couple of tackles, comes to the near side, still on his feet, breaks another tackle going down the sideline. Jackson Rodriguez still on his feet, and he breaks a tackle. It's a touchdown for Tonawanda. What a great return by Julian Jackson Rodriguez. Back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns.
He didn't stop those legs at all. Let's see if we can see the replay on this one. And watch. No, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get that for you, folks. We apologize. But what a great job as you saw him not give up. Even when he should have been tackled twice on there and broke both of those tackles and made sure he gets into that end zone. That's a big score right there for Tonawanda. Tonawanda does not want to see that 0 up on the board, and that really can give any team momentum if they can go ahead and keep that moving.
35-6, back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns. Don't see that very often.
Yeah, you don't by both teams. That really is something. And I'll tell you, did you see who almost came and made that play at the end?
Colton Fletcher.
It was Fletcher. It comes out of nowhere. And unfortunately, I think he just ran out a little of gas trying to make that tackle right there.
Well, Tonawanda will try to get the 2 points here. Timberwolves just getting on the scoreboard. A little bit of confusion here as they're looking over toward the bench.
Yeah, we're missing a player.
I was going to say, it looks like they don't have enough players out there. And the Timberwolves will go for 2. Low snap. Kellerman picks it up, throws, caught. It's good. Caught by Timothy Dolman, and it's a 35-8 game. So Tonawanda with an answer. Special teams, how about that?
We talk about it every game, folks. And I'll tell you, high school football more than anything, you can win and lose a game with special teams. It never fails. And now you're also seeing the same thing happening all the way up at the NFL level.
Yeah, no doubt.
Especially with the way they've moved
the kickoffs.
The kickoffs and the way that you've moved right now, the extra point, how much farther it is. Those are huge right now. Doesn't matter what the level is. If you do not take care of your special teams, I guarantee it could be a possible loss.
No doubt. Well, look at the Rams and the Eagles. Rams going in for a game-winning field goal. Eagles block it, take it back for a touchdown. There was another team that happened to, too. I can't remember who, but a lot of field goals have been blocked this year.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of them.
Oh,
in the
a lot
NFL.
of them. You're absolutely right.
Tonawanda with the that hit a Medina player, but I think Medina got the ball. Well, that was a great kick.
Yeah, Medina got it.
That was a great
At first,
kick.
the way he went in the arm, I thought he was going the opposite way with it, but no, great job. That was a great onside kick. I 100% agree with you, Stu. That took the bounce you wanted off the player. It just didn't come back far enough for them to be able to make that play, but that was a great onside kick.
The Medina player looked like it hit his shoulder pad, and he and a teammate were fortunate to be able to hop on the ball quickly.
It's funny. Did you see how his body was turned when he hit it?
Yes.
I almost wonder if he was squared up coming in that and that hit him, if it would have come even farther right there. But still, great job there. I know Tonawanda doesn't have the ball, but boy, I really did like that onside kick.
Now it's 1st and 10 for Medina, leading 35-8. Each team has scored in the second half. Each team has had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Woodworth will pitch it to Moss. Moss comes to the outside at the 50, at the 45, shoved out of bounds at about the 40 by Timothy Doman. And is that a first down or is he a little short?
No, it's
a first down.
Yep.
First down for Medina. They'll spot the ball at the 41-yard line. Brian Evans on the PA tonight here at Tonawanda, doing a great job.
He's been doing it for an hour before the
Yeah, I
game
know.
because it's senior night here.
Yeah, he was
Between the cheerleaders and the seniors here on this team, he really has been talking for a while.
He's been a very busy man.
And that says a lot for how much you and I talk when we get together.
Yeah, but I don't think he ever bowled to 300. I'll have to ask him that. How many of those did you have? Oh, a handoff. Nice play there. And right up the middle and getting popped a couple of times is Jason Wills. How many 300s did you bowl?
I had 2, but I also had 4 298s, 2 299s. I had a bunch of games that were right up there into the mix.
So a little bit like the Nolan Ryan one-hitters, huh?
Yeah, I actually, one of my 300s, I actually had threw one ball on one lane and a different ball in the other lane to be able to throw the 300.
Wow. 2nd and 1 for Medina. At the 32-yard line. That was a 9-yard gain for Moss. Woodward goes under center, and he'll hand it off to Jason Wills, and he'll get the first down, and he's close to the 25-yard line, maybe the 26 or 27, but it's a Medina first down. Ball at the 27-yard line. Well, how about that? The Eagles get it, but the Giants are beating the Eagles. Oh, okay. Well, that'll make Tom happy. Wouldn't bother me.
I don't think it'd bother anybody unless you're a Jamestown person because of Sirianni.
Oh, long throw toward the end zone. Touchdown. Wide open. Jude Lacey from Preston Woodworth. What a play.
Boy, he has done such a great job of rolling out. That's the second time we've seen him roll to the left for a big yardage play right there. But he does it again, gives himself some time, and I can't stress it enough. You've got to, especially when you're rolling out to that left side, you've got to turn your body and square that up to be able to make a throw. And that was a deep throw right there to make that happen. Great job by him. And again, he's got a cannon for an arm, folks.
Does.
There's a reason this kid's going getting a Division I offer for a pitcher, because he can throw the ball.
Medina will try to add the extra point. Kick is up, and he just got it through there. Davi Musosa has had a busy night. It's 42-8 now. Is there a flag on the play here? Might be offside.
No, we're seeing the replay. Oh, that's so. This is just the extra point again. You can see him push it through.
Well, that was a great throw for the touchdown by great catch by Jude Lacey.
And yes, there was a flag, and it went against Medina, so that's going to happen on the kickoff is what it's going to do.
Well, we've had 3 touchdowns here in the third quarter.
Yes, Coach, yes. They're kicking from the 30. Oh, 25.
This was a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is what it was. So you're seeing it from the 25-yard line is where they're going to kick off. Could give right here Tonawanda some really good field position. See if they can take advantage of it because, boy, you want to see them get back into this game and see if there's something they can do. There's still a lot of time. I mean, even though we've had a ton of scoring here inside the second half, it really is a ton of time. We've only had 3 minutes come off. So for every minute, we've had a touchdown so far.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So Medina will kick off. Looks like Vinny Gray will kick off. And he will kick that one, and it'll be taken on the far side by Jackson Rodriguez, and he's tripped up almost immediately by Colton Fletcher. But still good field position for Tonawanda out past their own 40-yard line.
So as we get things rolling here, we're going to talk about right now a little bit how this division's shaping up, this C North. To me, early on, it looks like you've got 5 teams that are competing for the top 4 spots. So everybody understands there'll be 4 teams from C North that will make the playoffs and 4 teams from C South. And then what happens is you'll have a crossover. So C South 1 team will play the C North 4 team, and the C South 2 team will play the C North 3 team, and then you keep going like right there to be able to make that happen.
Now, how many of those teams have you seen this year?
I've seen a lot of these teams. If I haven't seen them face-to-face, I've seen them on film already. And, boy, we've got loaded teams on both sides of the spectrum.
Well, those games at the stadium, that pass is complete on the far side, and that'll be Doman on the catch. Well, Class C games at the stadium have been memorable. Even back when it was Cleve Hill and Southwestern, they had memorable games.
Yep.
Tonawanda first down there, as you heard.
But I'll tell you that last spot's going to start to get interesting and really could come down the week that I'm going to be looking at right here. We already said we're in week 6 right here. So Akron has got to go to Maritime Tapestry. They've got to play JFK and Springville to finish off that season. That big game that they're going to be looking at right now is the Maritime Tapestry game.
Owen Ford gains a yard or 2. Now, is that a week 8 game, or what week is that?
No, it's this week coming right now is what it is. That's their big game right there because you look at it, JFK and Springville are at the bottom of that division right now. So you've got to right now, if you are Akron, win out to see if you can try to stop that Medina team from getting into the playoffs.
Kellerman will take this shotgun snap. Owen Ford in the backfield with him. Kellerman throws down the far sideline. Caught.
That's called a jump ball, Coach. That's what we need.
Doman makes the catch inside at about the 20-yard line. Great catch by Doman. It'll be a Tonawanda first down. Nice throw by Kellerman and a great catch by Doman.
So this is the only division in Western New York that's got 9 teams. So you think about it, you're not playing one of the teams. Akron and Medina don't play each other. So there's going to be no head-to-head game to be able to get into the playoffs.
And the ball's on the turf. Medina falls on it. The snap was fumbled, and Medina recovers, and that'll end the Tonawanda drive with a turnover. A disappointing ending to what looked like a promising drive. That's the second time tonight Tonawanda has lost a football on the snap.
So that's going to come into play, that they're not going to have a head-to-head matchup against each other to decide who's going to get to the playoffs. In fact, the final game for Medina this season will be against Batavia.
Oh, wow. It's Section 5 squad.
Absolutely. So they're not even going to be able to see an opportunity to play for that final spot. So these games all become pivotal, and especially your margin of victory now becomes pivotal because that's going to be one of the tiebreaker spots.
Is there a scenario where they could play in the last week and then play again in the Far West Regionals?
No, because they can't play.
Oh, okay. And then there's a handoff and a good run. A lot of running room on the far side, going down the sideline, cutting back. And finally brought down is Kendrick Rousseau on a huge gain all the way into Tonawanda territory.
So that's where things are going to get really interesting. And if you look right now, so Akron in conference, Medina is 2-2. Akron is 3-1 right now. And like I said, is their big game that's left is, we talked about, is one of the teams that are up into the top. It's actually, so apologize. It's actually Maritime Tapestry this week, who's sitting in the number 2 spot. If you win that game and win out, you're in.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
You don't win out, now you're giving Medina the opportunity, and we'll go over why that opportunity is going to be there.
1st and 10 for Medina. He'll hand that off to Moss. Moss comes to the near side, and he's brought down. Nice tackle. A flag comes in late. Jakari Henderson on the tackle. Flag came in late, so we'll have to wait and see what that flag is.
So you can see right here, take a look. So Medina is sitting at that 2-2 spot in the 5th spot.
Right.
Maritime Tapestry still has to play Akron. One of these teams are going to go to 3-2 right there. That's going to be the big difference. Now you look at where Medina comes into the spectrum here. So now we look at their games, and the one you're going to go look at right now for Medina is they don't play either Akron or Maritime Tapestry.
Oh, okay.
So either one of those. So now you've got to look at your points against is what you're going to look at right here to be able to see some of the separation factors, and we'll talk about that after this play.
It was a holding penalty on Medina. Takes the ball back to the 45. There's a little play action. Woodworth rolls to the far side. He's going to run it. Woodworth still on his feet. He's down to the 30. Still going. Still on his feet. One last block. Touchdown. Wow. Preston Woodworth. Another Medina touchdown. And they'll make it 48-8. Great run there.
So I'm going to look at the plus-minus adjusted because you can only win by a certain amount of points that count. So I want you to look at right now. Akron sitting at plus 31. Maritime Tapestry sitting at plus 59. Medina's at plus 21. Now they're going to get a nice one right here where that's going to go up right here. But you're seeing how close this is going to be, and it really is going to be your plus or minus to see who may get that 4th spot inside the C North Division.
Woodworth will hold for the extra point try. Kick is up, and it's good. Davi Musosa has been perfect on extra points with 4:24 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Medina 49, Tonawanda 8. Let's take a quick break. You're watching Section 6 High School Football on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics.
So the big game inside this could be the last week of the season where Barker Royhart's got to take on Maritime Tapestry. That could be who your number 1 spot goes to, or could it give Maritime Tapestry that 2nd loss and push you out?
Yeah.
That's how big that game becomes right here.
And the kick is bounced, taken by Owen Ford, and he's out close to midfield. where it'll be 1st and 10, Timberwolves. Timberwolves.
I was going for a second. I go, why am I not hearing
Yeah.
Stu real well?
I thought the same thing. Why am I not hearing myself?
But I'll tell you, that's why this is far from over. This whole division right here. There's so much that's still left to play out inside this division, and really is going to be a lot of fun in there. But I'll tell you, that 4 spot that we're hearing these teams battle for, this Southwestern Frewsburg team that's sitting right now in the top spot, I'm going to tell you, folks, is something to watch. Is going to be something to watch. They got the run game. They got the defense led by Zach Markham. This kid's unbelievable. I'll tell you, we'd be talking about him as a Trench Trophy guy. If he's a senior, he's only a junior. But, boy, we're going to hear his name over and over.
Kellerman throws, tipped up in the air and almost intercepted. Oh, my. So close for Tucker Deary. It was tipped. Kendrick Rusaw tipped it, and Deary couldn't quite bring it in for the interception.
And for those of you that are with us right here, Jackson Dart just took off a 19-yard TD run on 3rd down for his 2nd career run. The Giants up 13-3 over the Eagles.
And the Phillies and Dodgers tied at 1 in the top of the 8th in L.A. The Brewers and the Cubs to get started shortly.
But that must mean the Giants missed the extra point.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We literally just talked about special teams and how that's happening all over the place.
Kellerman rolls, fires, incomplete. Intended for Graff. That time he was rolling to his right. And it's an incomplete pass. And now we have a running clock because a team is up by more than 35 points. Medina up by 41. They'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Timberwolves.
But this is I think, a much-needed game for Medina as they've come off. But I'll tell you, you look at the 2 losses that Medina, now I think Eden did fantastic against them the other week. But the game against Roy Hart Barker, you go back to that one, they gave up 29 points in that game. It was a 1-score game. Those 29 points were all scored in the 2nd quarter.
Oh, wow. Not a quarter they'll remember in a good way. Kellerman flips it up in the air, almost intercepted. Went right through the hands of Jason Wills. And Kellerman very fortunate that was not picked off. An incomplete pass, bring up a 4th down and 10 for the Timberwolves.
But like I said, for both of these teams, you're going to look at what do you take into the next,
right?
You know what I mean, the rest of the season. Let's look at Tonawanda and see who they've got left so far in there. I know they're sitting at the 0-4 record, but obviously they're going to look to see what they can do next. And they've had some close games. JFK, they lost 28-20. Akron, 23-6. I know the Maritime Tapestry game, was a little lopsided also. The Chautauqua Lake Weston Brockton was. But Cleve Hill, that was a 26-14 game. They've been in a couple really close games.
So the punt is downed at the 17-yard line. Good punt there for Tonawanda as we approach the end of the 3rd quarter.
But I will tell you, Tonawanda's got a tough last 2 games. They're going to see in Week 7, they're going to see Eden North Collins, which we've already talked about, and this team can put up some major points. One of the top right now quarterbacks in the area. You're talking about 2 different wide receivers that both got recognized as Conley Cup finalists last week, and then they finish off with the TNT game right here with North Tonawanda. And I'll tell you, that North Tonawanda team is good this year. They look really good. It may be a tough one, but they've definitely got 2 tough games to finish this out the rest of the season.
Tom, just want to update everybody on your favorite sport. The Buffalo Sabres are opening their season tonight, and they trail the New York Rangers 1-0 after 2. That's another New York team, but you're not a hockey guy. After 3 quarters, Medina 49, Tonawanda 8. You're watching Section 6, high school football on Western New York Athletics.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Fourth quarter, Medina will have the ball deep in their own end of the field. They lead this one 49-8. And Woodworth will hand that one off to Jason Wills, and he'll run out to about the 24, 25-yard line before he gets brought down, and he'll bring up second down.
And folks, we want to remind everybody, I will be doing some post-game interviews with Stu. You want to go to our X page, our Instagram page, our Facebook page. They'll be on every one of those as we talk to the players of the game right at this one. If it holds serve, it'll be the Medina team that we'll talk to. But I'll tell you, this is a big game, like I said, for Medina. I really think, especially after a loss that they had last week to Eden, that they really needed a comeback play, especially for a young team. Get those heads back up. Get the belief right there that you can make something happen and get into this playoff picture.
And the one thing you notice about some of the smaller school teams is the roster size. You know, when we started at the Lancaster game that we did against Orchard Park, those are big schools. There's a good run for another first down by Kendrick Rousseau. You know, it was Lancaster and Orchard Park, big schools, bigger rosters, smaller schools, small rosters, and sometimes they even have to merge schools, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's just life for kids at the small schools.
Yeah, when you see this, you hear it. We've heard it now for years. How many times have we heard, why doesn't West Seneca merge their schools together? Why doesn't Kenmore merge those schools together? Why hasn't North Tonawanda and Tonawanda done the same exact thing? We hear it over and over again, and what people don't realize is there is a lot of past history for a lot of these schools to do that. Makes it very, very difficult in those school districts.
And they'll hand that one off, and almost brought down in the backfield is Wills, and he's out beyond the 50, still on his feet. Finally brought down almost to the 40-yard line. That was Rousseau again, excuse me, not Wills. And it'll be another Medina first down as the clock continues to run.
We do have another score update. The Giants right now are leading 13-10. The Eagles have scored in that one to make it a one-score game right now.
Was it a Saquon Barkley touchdown? For those of you fantasy football types?
The Eagles scored. Does it matter?
Well, you know, I follow a different. I'm a little more concerned with a football team that's playing Monday night, but okay. My squad is an AFC squad.
You and everybody that's listening to the broadcast.
That's right. Pass to the near side is caught, and a broken tackle, and Adrian Batista on the catch, and a short gain there. I'm just hoping that the Buffalo Bills don't lose their second straight Monday night in Atlanta. Did you watch any of the Yankee game last night?
I did.
Yeah, me too. That Toronto team is tough. Yeah. You know, the one thing I noticed, Toronto rarely swings and misses. They were really good at it. They made contact. And, of course, the pride of Brighton High School, my high school, Ernie Clement, had a great series. And I won't mention anything else because I know you're a Yankee fan.
No, listen, Judge had a heck of a series.
He did. He really did.
I mean, this is the guy that's gotten the most heat for things, and look at what he did in this series. He really tried to put that Yankee team on his back.
He did. And Woodworth, ball is on the ground. Hit Wills in the hands. Can't get it. Who's going to get it? Ball still loose. Let's see. And Tonawanda ball. So Medina fumbles, and Tonawanda recovers. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves. Well, I had flashbacks to last year if Giancarlo Stanton had gotten up in the ninth. So when Bellinger struck out, I was like, don't have to relive that nightmare again. Although last year Stanton seemed to be much better in the playoffs than he was this year.
Yeah, well, he came in, I think, a little injured as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, anyway, it's a fumble. Medina turns it over. Fumble by Jason Wills.
Let's talk a little bit about the C South, which to me is just an unbelievable conference, folks. You got right now Southwestern Frewsburg undefeated, 5-0. They're 4-0 in conference. Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton, which we thought was one of the games of the week last week with Southwestern Frewsburg, and they just came out flat, lose that game to them. Salamanca loses their first game to Portville, who's 2-2 inside that division. You got CSP, the defending state champions indeed. This place is loaded when you're talking about C-South.
Kellerman to pass. He fires deep downfield, incomplete. And they want some pass interference, but so far I don't see any flags.
Yeah, I think they're going to say that their legs tied up on that one is what they're going to say right here.
Pass intended for Doman, and it was Vinny Gray on the defense, and I think you're right. It was incidental.
What we were just saying is, like, you just look at this division. Southwestern, Chautauqua Lake, Salamanca, CSP, Falconer, Casadega Valley, Maple Grove. Portville, who just had a win over Salamanca. And then you got Fredonia and Springville, which you know have been teams that have been great teams of the past. Well, this is loaded, this division.
Like you mentioned, CSP, where are they, in the fourth spot? They're the defending state champs in the fourth spot.
Well, remember, defending state champs in the D conference.
Oh,
They're in C right now, so.
Kellerman to throw, caught, and a short gain there. Pass caught by Markel Whitman. Short gain. 2-yard gain, bring up third down. Flag flies late there. Let's see what this one is. It's a chilly night in Western New York. You can see how the officials are dressed. And that will go against an unsportsmanlike call against Tonawanda.
I'll tell you that Markel Whitman, you got to love. Listed as a tight end defensive lineman is what he is, 6'3", 225. You can see that body out there, especially when he comes up with a catch. He really does have a great football body to be able to help this Tonawanda team.
Thought maybe he'd get a chance to handle the ball more, but it hasn't worked out that way.
Well, remember, I mean, he's listed as a tight end, so you're there to help block right now, for especially when we've seen the penetration for Medina. But remember, we talked about what do you do when that penetration happens? A tight end move, a screen, get your ball out to your wide receivers real quickly in one-on-one matchups with the defensive backs. There's so many things that you can do, but that's one of them that you would look at and how to use him.
Kellerman back to pass. He tosses it over to Owen Ford. Ford breaks a couple of tackles. Breaks another tackle and is finally forced out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. A little short of the first down. Good run by Ford. Good run after the catch. And this will bring up a fourth down for Tonawanda. 4th and 8 for the Timberwolves at their own 40-yard line. And here they come. Cole Kellerman trying to get him another first down. High snap. He pulls it down, does Kellerman. He's going to roll to the left, the far side. He'll pitch it, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Owen Ford. Tried the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen flip pass in front of him, but it fell incomplete. And it'll be Medina ball.
You feel like you see those once a game with him as of late.
I know, right?
As well as that.
Right, those two guys and Lamar have changed the way that quarterback position is played forever. And I know, the one guy who I think doesn't get enough credit because is Jalen Hurts. I think he's underrated, believe it or not.
I do too, but unfortunately, they really haven't utilized him this year. It's been more of, the Barkley thing, but you've really seen is you haven't heard any big games out of either of those
No.
wide receivers right there. And I think that's what's causing some of the controversy with Jalen Hurts, is because your wide receivers aren't getting any of the balls sent to them, and that's got to be coming off your hand.
Well, when they lost to Denver, there was clearly a missed pass interference call. And there's a handoff to Wills, and he's got some room to run. He's brought down at about the 30-yard line. Jason Wills on the carry for Medina.
But, folks, senior day is a big day, especially for the cheerleaders as well as these players out in the field. And we definitely want to congratulate the seniors here at Tonawanda as they're celebrating their senior day. And we found out that homecoming for Tonawanda is actually the TNT game against NT, and both schools will have homecoming that day, even whether it's a home or away game.
Nice. Interesting concept. First down for Medina. And there's the handoff. And all the way down inside the 15-yard line is Kendrick Rousseau. I think Eric Valley will be one happy man after this game tonight. And they got an extra day, depending on when they play next week, to get ready for their next opponent.
And that with a young team is very important.
And the numbers that they have, where most guys are going both ways.
Absolutely. And you hope that maybe some of those injuries that are out there, that guys get healthy as we get towards the run here towards the end of the season.
Didn't he say he had 3 guys out with a concussion?
Yeah, he had a couple guys that, obviously were hurt on that sideline. So he's trying to get healthy, but he's trying to get the players some work. You're trying to be able to get your line to be able to open up some of the holes. And we've really seen a lot of positive. And I thought they've cleaned it up in the second half compared to the flags that we saw in the first half as well.
No doubt. I 100% agree with that. First down again for Medina. Handoff to the first man through there. It's a short gain. Looks like the ball came out. But I don't think Tonawanda was able to get a hand on it. And that was Wills on the short gain there. As we're now approaching the final 2 minutes and 16 seconds of this game. Medina will improve to 4-2, and Tonawanda will drop to 0-6. Been a tough year for the Timberwolves. This will be second down for the Mustangs. Looks like they're already going into victory formation.
Yeah, I think they are going to kneel this.
That's what it looks like. Or they're just going to take a delay a game here, because and Woodward takes a knee. Just working on the clock here. So, do you know Woodworth? You said he's got some baseball offers.
He's got Division I offer to Rutgers.
Rutgers.
Yep.
That's impressive. Do you think he's more? It seems like he's more a baseball guy if he's getting a D1 offer.
But everything's different. Just because you get an offer doesn't mean that your passion is there.
That's true.
So it all depends on what you want to do and where you want to go. In fact, we were just talking the other night to A.J. Weisenberg over at Williamsville North. This kid could play baseball or football at the next level. His passion is to play football, though. He wants to go out there and be a quarterback at the Division III level.
Good for him. And we'll take another knee here. Will Woodworth. And that'll bring up fourth down, but it doesn't really matter. They're just going to run out the clock here. Final 30 seconds will tick away. We'll remind everybody to keep an eye open for Tom's post-game interviews with the Medina squad, and it looks like that is going to do it. Medina beats Tonawanda by a final score of 49-8. Want to thank our colorman Tom Prince, our producer Heidi Gunther, Russ Battaglia, our photographer, and Josh Wilson, also a photographer. And thanks most of all to you for listening. Once again, the final score, Medina 49, Tonawanda 8. My name is Stu Boyer. Have a good night, everybody.